This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
When we were living over there, he would drink, and when I say this, I'm for real, like I would count the cans. 24 to 30 beers in one. He has stayed the night one night. He was drinking. He worked for Pulaski County at the time. Had been driving his police car around after drinking. Well, I was pregnant with our third child.
Why did he leave Pulaski and Centerville?
Pulaski, I'm not 100% sure. When he left Centerville, it was after we had split. I know there was some things going on with the girl that he had cheated on me with, that he was then seeing. She was 19, and I know there was something about underage drinking. He had threatened then, or somewhat threatened, talking about, because it was with me and another guy, you know, saying I'm going to get him and all that. And he had said, you know, I should have put a through yours and his head. And he had found out something about me and showed his butt, came inside, ripped up the couch with his knife, like cut it up. And he was on duty. He worked for Pulaski County.
We're going to talk right now. You're going to talk to me right now.
Andy?
No, Dalton, you're going to talk to me right now. Can I sit right here and talk to you?
Oh, you put your foot in the car.
No, I'm going to talk to you right here, Dalton.
Andy.
This is my damn house. We're on private property, and you pulled up. You ain't stopped me. You ain't got no probable cause. Nothing.
Yeah, well, I think you understand eyewitness identification. The eyewitness identification of the 911 caller, and they took a photo of your truck, which is what gave them the tag number and led them to your house.
So what's up?
Today's date is June 22nd, 2023. The time is 5:30 p.m. This is Investigator Oliver attempting to call Officer Andy Harper for an interview.
Hello?
Hey, is this Mr. Harper?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, this is Investigator Oliver from Post. I think we spoke a while back.
Yes, ma'am, we did. How you doing?
I'm good. I have everything put together. I was just calling you since I've had time to read through everything and get copies of your dismissals and see if you wanted to talk to me and let me interview you about the different cases you had. Is it a bad time?
Ma'am. No, that's fine. Just warning you, in case my phone dies, I'm on low battery. That's what it is. I didn't hang up on you.
Okay, well, if that happens, then you can just call me back tomorrow. I'll be working tomorrow, too. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and try to jump right into this. So what looks like initiated your first post complaint was from a February 2020 complaint where it's alleged that you damaged your... I don't know if she's your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. I know y'all have kids together. You damaged her vehicle is what's alleged in the report.
Yes, ma'am, that was correct. I was interviewed by GBI on that.
Yeah, I have their whole case file. Can you tell me anything about it in your words, what happened?
No, ma'am, I was on duty that night. Like I said, I was in a marked patrol vehicle, GPS and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they could see everywhere I was at.
Yeah.
This and that. They only ended up needing me for half a night that night because I had some detail going on. So I was just covering for the guys that was on that detail.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting off, went home, you know, in my patrol car like normal and stayed home. You know, that was it. Mm-hmm. So...
Okay. They asked you, there was one thing they were concerned about. From what I
understand, with all that, you know, me and the mother of my children, like I said, everything's fine with us now.
Yeah.
But, you know, at that time we were having differences and she was, you know, seeing different people at the city police department in Byron at the time, some married folks. And, you know, I said some things to her about that, you know, said, you know, hey, that ain't right.
And he had found out something about me.
You shouldn't be doing that. Mm-hmm. And, but other than that, you know, it wasn't any more than words.
Okay. You admitted to them that you ran somebody's tag, right?
To my knowledge, I honestly can't remember. That was over 3 years ago.
Yeah, you don't remember telling the GBI agent that, you did go to the apartment complex that she was at, and there was a pickup truck parked close to her, and you got out and got the tag number and ran it?
I don't recall that.
When you were outside your car, whenever you stopped and looked, make sure it was her car and the pickup truck, how long were you outside?
15 seconds.
Okay. Did you see anybody out or anything like that?
Okay.
When you went by her apartment Monday, Tuesday night, did you ever get outside your patrol car?
Yes, sir. Go check it out.
I don't recall that. I mean, on
recall
that particular night, the only thing I remember is that I was on the north end.
Mm-hmm.
In Peach County, we got a north end and south end, which is two cities, Byron or either Fort Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the north end, which was Byron, and I was patrolling right down from Byron Police Department, just cruising, didn't have any calls going on, running traffic, riding around, just patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
And I did come upon her vehicle, or what appeared to be her vehicle.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't recall anything else.
Okay. Do you recall there had been a prior dispute about her taking your cell phone?
No, ma'am, I don't.
You don't?
I mean, it was just a normal morning. Other than that, everything was fine up until I discovered that my cell phone was missing.
Okay. So did you think she took the phone, or?
Yes, I asked her. I was pretty sure that she took it. I don't know where else it would have went.
Okay.
Was that reported by her, or?
Well, she did tell them that you believed she took your cell phone, and you told GBI that the reason you ran the tag was because your phone was pinging in that area. Does that jog your memory at all?
I don't. I do recall a cell phone of mine going missing from a time when she was at the house, but, I asked her about it, and she stated that she did not,
Okay.
And I just kind of left it at that.
Okay. So you don't remember running the tag. I assume you were GCIC certified at that time, though, to be able to run tags in your car, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Yes, ma'am.
That's pretty standard, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll move on past that. Then the next thing we have would have been July 26th of 2020, where there were a couple of different calls about you driving intoxicated. Do you recall anything about that particular incident that you want to talk to me about?
Yes, ma'am. I was arrested. I think it was actually July 27th at that time because it had been past midnight.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't sure about any calls until after the fact, but it was technically July 27th of that date or that year, and I was arrested by Byron PD and at my residence on private property. The vehicle wasn't running. They'd never seen the vehicle in motion. Never got intox. Never attempted to do field sobriety. Never put me on roadside PBT. Ready to imply consent for blood. With me being, police officer, I knew what was going to happen. I refused because he didn't ask me if I wanted to do field sobriety. He pulled up on me on private property. I was seeing the vehicle in motion. And all that kind of stuff. And I knew the guy, like I said, I was a Peach County deputy. He worked for the city of Byron, and he happened to be one of the two guys at the city police department that was seeing the mother of my children that was married at the time. So, I kind of had a little resentment towards him just because of that.
Yeah, that was obvious to me.
With him and all that kind of stuff, and he was one of them guys kind of like I was, I liked the DUI stuff, and I seen him do DUIs, and he did me completely different than what I've seen with everybody else.
Okay, yeah, I could tell from the body camera that there was probably some personal friction there.
Yes, ma'am.
Between the
two. Yeah, there was that. Like I said, I was upset about it, because like I said, these were people that were supposed to be my friend, and this and that, and had they not been married themselves or whatnot, and they wanted to see her, I wouldn't have had a problem with it, or it's been like, hey, man, whatever. But some people may see it different than I did, even though her and I wasn't together. And probably shouldn't have been none of my business, but to me it was my business because we do have 3 kids involved as well.
Yeah. So back to your DUI case. Did you get the chance to look at the report and see your own body camera video or dash cam video prior to the case being dismissed? Did you get your discovery in that case?
Yes, ma'am. I was able to get the report, the supplemental from the backup officer body cam from the primary officer
Okay.
and some of the dash camera. Yes,
there's
ma'am.
really no disputing anything that's in the video, I don't think. So I don't really think there's much disputing that even while the case was dismissed, you were intoxicated when they found you in your truck, and you did have cold open beer containers in there. Do you agree with that?
I was not intoxicated. That case was dismissed.
Oh, I understand the case was dismissed. I'm talking to you about the video. We don't have to go beyond probable cause when we're talking on the phone. And your case has been dismissed. I'm just talking to you about the video since you've seen it.
No, ma'am, I was not intoxicated.
Okay.
But there's I had them in the bed of my truck. I had them in the vehicle. You know, I just never threw them away. That don't mean I was sitting there riding around, you know, at the time being drinking them.
Okay.
He had stayed the night one night. He was drinking. He worked for Pulaski County at the time. Had been driving his police car around after drinking. Well, I was pregnant with our third child.
And I know
I was
you
sitting in my
said.
vehicle that night. It was a late night. I was listening to music on my phone. I lived with my dad at the time. I didn't want to go in there bother him while I was listening to music, and while I was just sitting there, there's obviously, I know you can't see probably much in the video, but nowhere to sit outside, so I just figured I'd shut the vehicle off. I had my door already open. I was sitting there listening to music, and at that point in time, yes, I was consuming one beer, canned beer.
Just chilling in the truck.
That's correct.
Okay. And you said that the reason you refused implied consent is because he did not offer to do field sobriety on you? Is that what you said to me a few minutes ago?
Well, it was that. You know, he didn't see me in vehicle in motion. The vehicle wasn't even warm to the touch like it had been running. He tried to stay. It was an old beat up. I bought it from my stepdad years back. It was a 95 model, you know, step side pickup truck.
Yeah.
They were sitting there saying the marks and dents and scratches on it were from me striking a mailbox down the road. And, you know, how do you say that?
Well,
I was in the vehicle prior to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think you understand eyewitness identification. The eyewitness identification of the 911 caller, and they took a photo of your truck, which is what gave them the tag number and led them to your house.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Because I stopped and talked to the people, and he still wrote me a citation for trying to leave the scene or something. And I gave the people money, and they were sitting out there consuming alcohol themselves.
I think the difference is that at that time they weren't in a vehicle. I think that's probably what the difference is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I understand.
But I wasn't drinking at that time. I mean, the only thing I admitted to him that I was doing, I was texting the driver. That's what I was doing. So I wasn't paying attention. I struck their mailbox, but I was not drinking at that time.
Okay.
I don't see how you take, you know, an intoxicated person's, you know, statement when they're not in the correct mind to be able to say whether or not, or, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long you policed, but sometimes you look at the totality of circumstantial evidence. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have the court system that we have.
You know, at the same time, if you're, you know, officer, you know, doing what you're doing, I know if I went to the scene and they're sitting there drinking themselves, I might question it a little bit.
Maybe. I guess that depends on the circumstances. So we'll move forward. After that case and prior to the dismissal, you were cited for an alleged incident on April 6, 2021, where it looks like, what's her name? The mother of your children, Miss, stated that you were over at her residence. The two of you got into some sort of disagreement. You left and allegedly busted the taillight on her Kia Forte. And then you were cited for that after the fact. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Do you want to tell me anything about that?
I remember being cited. I don't remember the incident that occurred, but it's kind of like everything else. If something happens and she's around or in the presence during that time, then I was to blame.
Okay.
But like I said, at this point in time, she's seeing multiple people, and most of them are married, so
Well,
you can put that together.
yeah. Well, as far as you, because this is about you and your certification, what is your relationship like with her now? Like, how are y'all?
We're good. I mean, everything's, copacetic. We talk. They just recently moved back up here to Byron. But even before that, we talked. I give her money, to help out with the kids or whatever she needs. Still the same now. We hang out. I mean, we were just at the lake house, my lake house, this past weekend together on Father's Day. They want to get out of the house, and she's been under a lot of stress going through her most recent divorce. So
she's been married since
y'all come up to the lake house and, just enjoy your time.
Okay.
I was taking the kids anyway, so I invited her along so she wasn't sitting at the house by herself.
Okay. What happened with the polygraph in the first incident where you agreed to do it and then y'all rescheduled after you overslept and then you changed your mind? What changed your mind? Do you remember?
Well, I showed up for it.
Yeah.
To the GBI office.
Yeah.
Just because I don't believe in them things. There's been multiple, even with Peach County or there was one more agency I worked for that I think it was at the college, the very first police department I worked for. And, them things ain't accurate. If they were, they'd be admissible in court, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You went in and have to go through all the BS and you put them on that science type crap and, it's just not accurate. It's just a way for them to sit there and try to pick you apart and, trip you up, in my opinion.
You just weren't going for it, right?
No, I wasn't even going. They're not accurate, so.
Okay. Well, one thing it seems to be like a common theme, and I think you even said that you had done this. It seems to be that anytime there's alcohol involved, there's a problem. At one point in here, and I don't know what page it is, so I can't read it verbatim, you told...
What other incident was involved with alcohol?
Yeah, well, at one point during the incident, the very first one that triggered your post-investigation, you told the GBI agent that you had in the past drank alcohol to kind of cope with the things that the mother of your kids had put you through. And then in the second situation, obviously, you were accused of DUI by some strangers. And then in the third situation, where you were cited for criminal trespass, it starts out with alleging that you had, been at your the mother of your kid's house and had gotten a beer out of the fridge, and then shortly after y'all started arguing. Do you think that there's any common denominator with alcohol?
The key word and all that's been alleged, and that last statement you made, one beer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what one beer would do to anybody.
Yeah, I don't know
honest.
either. I don't drink.
Unless they were a 5-year-old,
Mm-hmm. Well, my question to you is, do you feel like alcohol plays a part in any of the situations that you find yourself in?
No, ma'am, because, I don't drink like that. I drink recreationally, if we're having a cookout or a birthday party or if we're at the lake house working and staying, in place.
Mm-hmm.
Then no.
Okay.
I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's cool.
And to be honest, Miss Amy, I get this, I haven't been contacted back by Monroe County or anything, and I think I'm just going to go back to line work, so
okay.
I really ain't worried about this certification. It's been over 3 years, and people are just now getting to it, so.
Yeah, well, I'm brand new. I've been here for all of 2 months.
I ain't even worried about it anymore.
Well, do you want to give up your certification?
They can take it. They can do whatever they need to do. I ain't going to make that decision. They can do what they need to do, but.
Okay.
But I don't like, I know it ain't I know you're doing your job. I don't like being questioned about some old stuff that I barely remember, or, it's alleged this, alleged that, and it's all by the same person. And, and half of these people are the same ones just doing the crooked crap that they're doing down here in Byron. It's been that way for the whole time.
Do you still live in Byron?
I do, yes, ma'am.
You feel like the PD is crooked or the sheriff's office is crooked?
No, I ain't never have a problem at all with sheriff's office.
Uh-huh.
You know, not one problem at all. I enjoy working down there. I enjoyed everybody I work with, but that Byron Police Department, everybody down there and thereabout that I know of that's been there for a little while.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. That's the way I feel about it, and that's the way I will continue to feel about it. They just, you know, they do things different. They do things wrong. You know, I've heard a lot of different stories even while I was in law enforcement that I don't agree with, and, you know, that's just my thoughts on it.
Okay. All right. Well, I think any questions I may have had, I asked you and you answered. Is there anything that you feel like I should know or that I should have asked you that I didn't?
No, ma'am, I think you covered everything. But, I mean, if you can think of anything else, you're welcome to call me back at any point.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you what will happen from here. The last thing I needed to do was review everything and call you and give you the opportunity to talk to me or tell me your side of the events. After this, I write up a summary of everything that I have, what I've read, our interview that we're having now, and it's presented to a committee. And that committee will look at the facts of everything and they'll make a decision on what happens with your certification. I have no idea what decision they'll make. There's a whole bunch of them, and sometimes you think you know what they're going to do and then you don't know. So once they make their decision, it's possible your case could go in September. They hold these meetings every 3 months. I don't know what the backlog looks like. I'm too new to even kind of guess to tell you that. But the earliest you could go in front of this committee is September. Once they make a decision, this address in here, this 1771 Lakeview Road, Byron, they'll send you a letter to that address to let you know their decision. It goes before full council after that. Full council actually approves the decision. Once you get the letter, if you have an issue with it, you are allowed an appeal. I don't know much about the appeal process, but your paperwork should tell you about that. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In the meantime, if you have any questions at all or there's anything I can try to help you with, you're more than welcome to call me or text me, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And, like, yeah, I'm sure it is, but just to be for sure, like, these questions that you were following up on, they're administrative and not criminal, correct?
Oh, no, there's no criminal questions. Everything that Post does is administrative.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. I've never been through this before and all that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't read you Miranda. You're not being questioned criminally or anything like that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Amy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll talk just a second. See you, hand.